99 days of peace through unity. 99 days of peace through unity. 99 days of peace through unity. 99 days of peace through unity.
We don't all have to make the same choice to know respect and empathy. To be the change, gonna take a new mind frame of forgiveness, one earth and family. Shine your light, you are the future being told. Cultivate the seeds we've sown.
99 days of peace through unity. 99 days of peace through unity. 99 days of peace through unity. 99 days of peace through unity.
Quiet your spirit.
Taking it from here, Sister Hoffman, we give thanks to the Most High. Shout out to all the family conscious. We'll be traveling to higher dimensional fields of enlightenment, where life is the essence of existence. Peace to every soul that works to bring in light and life, the light workers, the mystics, ambassadors, and all from the four corners of the four waters, all the saviors among the many, many cultures. Honored to be the one to bring to you the light this morning, afternoon, or evening, according to your timeline. The one that is the truth, and I'ma preach it until global unity becomes a reality, please. Yes, 99 days of peace we can have it in 99 ways and 99 places. Achieving global unity, brotherhood is key. Tune into the spirit, let your vibe raise. Blessings, blessings.
Lift your voice, your unique mission is a key. Listen deep, and we'll all find harmony.
Welcome everyone to this very special session for World Peace Week. We started first with the EARTHwise Pledges and Game on World Unity Week, which we launched on a special session on Solstice. I'm delighted to be here together with our wonderful stewards from EARTHwise Center. These are the stewards for the EARTHwise Constitution. And I know that we have a lot to share with you all today, and not as much time as we may want. So I just want to present that up front, that we are going to go very quickly through that. And at the same time, trusting that it is all in right timing. So again, we're delighted to be sharing Peace Week with all of you and to be in the field of peace. So let us go through this slide. So how this all began for us was through the EARTHwise Constitution for a Planetary Civilization. I'm only going to touch very briefly on this again in the spirit of right timing, but this constitution serves as a new kind of social contract for collective stewardship and to really envision and live in together what it means to become the future humans of a planetary civilization, what it means to co-create thrivable worlds and futures with the wisdom of living systems. It's been endorsed by over 50 plus organizations, as well as our wonderful partners here from Unity Earth and others. And it's continued to evolve. And as part of this constitution, in Article 7, there are 16 pledges for a new EARTHwise. Now, these pledges, they are not about financial pledges, as many people may think of when we hear the word pledges. They are really pledges in terms of how do we live our commitments now for this thrivable world and future? How do we live our commitments for the transformations that are necessary, the personal transformations, the collective transformations, the societal transformations. And this is where you can see here briefly what it means to live into our promise, what we're promising truly as these future ancestors of a planetary civilizations, and what it means to co-create that journey in partnership with life and our Earth. So we're going to go very briefly through these pledges here. All of that is written out on the website. There's also a PDF that you can download on the website where you can go through this together, where there are also little actions written out on each of the pledges that you can practice for yourself, with your friends, for those of you who are parents like me, also with your children. The pledges form a quadrant structure. What it means is the first quadrant is all about answering the call. Then we're going into stewarding for thrivability, shifting really how we play the game of life on planet Earth and becoming the new world. So here you see the first quadrant about answering the call of your future human potential and how you can then apply that for the co-creation of thrivable worlds and futures, and of course investing also in our thrivability and contributing your talents for this beautiful world. And these are the pledges that we work with to steward for thrivability. We're navigating by this wisdom of the living systems and architecting also with the wisdom of living systems, evolving our systems tools in service of life. Now, I'm not going to be reading out all of them, but I just want to present that here and also to let you know already the beautiful images that you're looking at here. They've been created with generative AI as a background for the EARTHwise game that we've been co-creating as part of our pledge to how we can really live this and empower especially the younger generation. And that brings me exactly to this slide, which is all about upgrading how we play the game of life on planet Earth by partnering with our Earth and stopping the games and gains of domination and separation, truly acting as an ally of life. And that also means celebrating the transition moments in evolutionary growth, just like we are doing here today for Peace Week. And ultimately, it's, of course, about becoming these beautiful new worlds that we're dreaming in together, that also these 99 days of peace through unity, through each of us making our missions for the 99 days of peace through unity, have all been about. So how are we going to become these new worlds and truly building these thriving communities and generative ecosystems? And even here, as you're with us live today or listening later to this recording, just take a moment to connect with the seeds of these beautiful new worlds within you. How does that seed live within you? How do you connect in with that? How do you keep those seeds alive? How do you become a flourishing garden for these beautiful future potentials that are calling us together now and form the foundations, not just for world peace, but the consciousness of peace? And very quickly then about the EARTHwise game that we started on, and it was our mission and commitment for 99 days of peace through unity. So we launched that, the first steps of that during World Unity Week. And it's an open world immersive action game to empower the younger generations in becoming planetary stewards for our collective well-being. And it's also for all of us. So I just want you to know, yes, it's especially for the younger generations, but also for all of us. We are, thanks to this, great platform and also the crowdfunding campaign that we launched when we began, we have now been able to start the prototype development. The prototype development will take another 6 to 9 months before we can start to test that. And very briefly about what's at the heart of all of this. So as you enter the EARTHwise game, you're entering a world that's dominated by what we call Moloch. Moloch is becoming a popular term in game theory to refer to very specific game dynamics that are at the root of the sustainability crisis that we're in. And what that means in Moloch game dynamics means that we're sacrificing a long-term collective well-being for short-term myopic and personal gain. And many of our economic and political and educational systems are kind of designed by these algorithms of Moloch. And the EARTHwise game seeks to change that, to become a game changer for the Moloch extinction game, to hack the Moloch operating systems by the future codes of this thrivable planetary civilization. And also the Constitution and the pledges are part of the navigational system of the game. And right now, what I want to unveil with my team here is a beautiful, great surprise. And these are you're going to see live now for the very first time, the 5 playable characters in the game that are based also on the 5 future archetypes that are part in our Constitution and that are part of our governance systems. So here are the first 2 playable characters in the game, and we're starting with Aleph, the quantum coder. So Aleph is going to help you to hack into this harmful Moloch operating system. And with the help of Kairos here, you're going to insert the future codes of the new era and activate those so that instead of playing by the linear mechanical clock time of Moloch, we're going to go back into nature's rhythms and wisdoms. And then you're going to get the help of Shakti, the evolutionary alchemist, and Gabo, the pattern weaver, and Eureka, the story speller, and really driving that transformational change process where you're going to learn how to work even with the alchemy of fire, or with Gabo's help, who has a special connection with the tree of life and the fungi systems, and using the root systems of the plants to send messages. You're going to really help to outsmart Moloch, regain the world's back from Moloch-dominated systems, and our humanity regain that, win it back. So we can really truly learn how to steward together this planetary civilization. And Eureka has a special surprise through her mythic glasses. So when you're putting your mythic glasses on, you're going to see the hidden guardians in the game. But it's also going to help you actually find these hidden Moloch operating systems that together you become the upgrade codes. Together, by playing for collective thriving, you're going to bring forth this new era of the promise of peace, the promise of the evolution of human consciousness on planet Earth, and the promise of great partnership with life. And with that, I would really like to bring now our steward, Elisabeth. You've been working with the pledges as well, together with Dr. Anne Baring, to really be at the forefront here of feminine leadership for world peace. So we'd love to hear a little bit from you now.
Thank you so much. It's incredible to be with you, Anneloes, and with the other stewards here, and to see those beautiful, beautiful cards. Very, very exciting time. Yes, I'd love to just share a little bit about how we are synergizing with the EARTHwise Center. This past March, Anne Baring and I decided to collaborate on an initiative whose time has come, an urgent call to all humanity to bring an end to war and violence now. And as collaboration is the new way forward, we chose also to join genius with Anneloes and the EARTHwise Center. When one endeavors to embark on a world-changing mission, it is helpful to have guidance, and the EARTHwise Constitution is that compass for co-creating thrivable worlds and futures using the wisdom and capacities of living systems. It also inspires and supports each of us in becoming the future humans of New Earth. So as part of the EARTHwise team during these 99 days of peace, Anne and I chose to host a total of 4 gatherings. inviting the founders of peace initiatives, as well as activists and supporters, to come together in community and explore the steps we can take to effect real and lasting change and achieve our bold mission. For each of the meetings, we began by focusing on the EARTHwise Pledges, and we used them as powerful transmissions to connect our hearts and to anchor our intention. And so as a community, we committed to answering the call of our future human potential, stewarding for thrivability, upgrading how we play the game of life, and becoming the new world. And from this solid foundation, we were able to see the interconnectedness of our individual initiatives and how working collectively, the future we dream of is within reach. Additionally, each organization in our collective can now adopt the Constitution and the pledges to use as a foundation for their own initiative. Now, directly following this call at the top of the hour, Anne and I will host our 4th gathering with the founders of Mary Magdalene School in Vézelay, France. It's a school whose mission is overlit by the powerful energies of the divine feminine. And our conversation today will focus on one of EARTHwise Constitution's principles of how the maturation of consciousness contributes to the evolution of life. And specifically, our focus will be on the evolution of a consciousness of peace, which we believe is a critical factor in ending all war and violence forever. Now, as the promise of peace does not end with the 99 days are over, we will host a gathering Friday at noon as well for all those interested in exploring where we go from here. So thank you for your yes, for being part of the solution. We need each and every one of us stepping up and into our full potential as stewards of the new earth and upgrading how we play the game of life together so that our new world can be birthed. Peace and blessings. Hope to see you at the top of the hour.
Thank you so much, Liz, and Anne as well, and for everything that you are stewarding together and your very, very powerful message here. So with that, I'd love to bring Alison with us, also our lead communications for the game, and share your beautiful wisdom message.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anneloes. And it's such an honor and a privilege to be here. I'm very new to the team. I have just joined, and so I'm on a huge learning curve with the work itself and absolutely loving it. And one of the things in watching the previous launch of the pledges was just feeling the spirit of what's guiding all of the work and really hearing about the difference that our intention is making and how that really is turning into action. So I really started to think about my own mission and working in the field of conscious business and seeing how the Constitution really begins to create this very, very coherent center. It begins to harmonize and provide a kind of unifier. And then I expand out and I see the tech platforms and the potential of the DAO, and I see the potential of the game. And suddenly I'm zooming out and I'm seeing this amazing ecology, which is intelligent and which is providing the most amazing foundations to build on. So then I started to have conversations with my family and explain this is a game. It's amazing. We can begin to hack into a system. We can begin to transform the things that aren't working. And my children just came alive. My 9-year-old, whose bedroom I'm sitting in right now, and a teenager as well, both of whom have been playing Minecraft. He'd been playing Splatoon. He'd been playing these kind of games where they're with their friends and they're doing challenges together. And so I was testing out ideas and wondering aloud and hearing the kinds of inputs they had, which is giving such a powerful steer. It's giving a real sense of when we're going to be creating with the young people, with their intelligence, their creativity, their ingenuity. I'm really, really clear what my pledge is. My pledge is so much about contributing my own talent, my passion, my love, my wisdom. It's pledge 4, and it's bringing myself as a mother. To be able to be here as a mother, as well as, the professional self, the marketeer, the person that does that too. I really realized that in itself is a wonderful unifier, that I have full permission. And it just seems so timely as well in relation to a post-COVID world, where actually lots of us are working from home. We're with our families, we're alongside them. We're not going to the office anymore. Something has really changed. So I'm feeling tremendous excitement. I'm seeing so much potential, and I'm really clear that it's a joy and a pleasure to be part of creating these enabling conditions. And I'm coming with so much unknowing. This is truly emergent. It's what was really being said when we launched the pledges, that actually we say yes to the call. We don't quite know what's going to come next. We don't quite know where we're going to go. But actually the big yes is yes to the calling, yes to the mission, and yes to doing it together. You know, somebody said last time, we're not alone in this. We're actually all doing it together. We're all connecting up. So to have the Constitution and the pledges at the center for me is utterly beautiful. So thank you. Thank you for inviting me to put my voice in the spirit of the feminine and the circle. And yeah, blessings. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alison. We're delighted you're walking this path with us and really, you know, sharing this message right now that that's what it is all about. It is about this integration. It's about being the world that we want to live in and experience. So that's a perfect message. And with that, I'd love to bring Alexander, our vice co-founder, here. And if you could share some of your wisdom too.
I'm delighted to do so, Anneloes. And what a celebration this is during this Peace Week, that we get to bring to everyone here this game. You know, in the late 1900s, mid to late 1900s, as they now refer to it, James Carse came up with this idea of finite and infinite games. And so the idea that we're always in an infinite game, the game of life, the game of living. So we can look at it that way when dividing our realities into these kind of games. The finite games are the ones you play, and then you can turn off the computer, you can go away, and you've done something, you've completed it. You've completed a round, you've got to the next level, whatever that is. This is exactly what we're offering here, a way in which you can play a finite game, and in that process, engage with your abilities to play the infinite game, the game of life. You know, Descartes famously said, "I think, therefore I am." This game and all that we're doing on Peace Week, I believe this time is about shifting that idea. It's not so much about thinking and being by yourself. It's about connecting. I connect, therefore I interact. Therefore I interbe. This is really the essence of this kind of a game that we're bringing into the world. And it's about, truly, about humaning well. How can we human well? We can learn from the animals, from the plants, from the world of nature. You know, Janine Benyus once said, life creates conditions conducive to life. She's one of the founders of biomimicry, that wonderful area of nature as mentor. Life creates conditions conducive to life. This game helps us learn how we as humans can be part of that narrative. How can we create conditions conducive to life? And the game asks us to recognize that the only way to do that is together, is in the spirit of with each other, with the different Shakti, Gebo, Eureka, and all the other characters, but also with nature, with the life tree. And indeed, fundamentally, in the end, you don't win against Moloch. You help alchemize, help transmute Moloch into part of the constructive narrative of our world. By the way, Moloch, if you want to know, is something you can look up. There are movies that have been made. In 1999, there's a fantastic Russian movie on Moloch. And in 2022, there was a Dutch movie also made. It's quite terrifying. How do we deal with a world where there is Moloch in presence? And with the 16 pledges, these are really declarations of how we can do that. I commit to, and they ask us to make this declaration that says what it is we wish to commit to. And I want to just focus on a few of them. For example, pledge number 9, that asks us to partner with our earth. I mean, what more can we really say about how we can human well if we are part of that nature's genius for solving the challenges? So this is the pledge for pledge number 9. And for example, I want to mention 3 more. Pledge number 11 is to act as an ally of life for the necessary changes and transformations. And the game asks you to become allies with each other and with your living world, and with not just animals and plants, but indeed also with the rain systems and the forests and air. Pledge number 14 asks us to be regenerators, to be a force for regeneration in the world. And you say you will take action by promoting the systems that help regenerate our world and our planet. And finally, Pledge 16 asks us to become the world we wish to see. It takes on this kind of admonition that Mahatma Gandhi gave, which says to be the systems you wish to see in the world. Well, here we're asking ourselves together with each other and with all of life to become the world we wish to see. The game is a place where we can play and experiment this. So I'm so looking forward to this, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all on the platform. Thank you, Anneloes. Thank you, everyone.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Alexander, for this wonderful, wonderful message. And in that, I would love to bring Laura here, our EARTHwise Constitution steward, for adding your wisdom, and in particular about also the Earth Federation's work that you have been part of so much. So, Laura, over to you.
Thank you, Anneloes. And it is a total joy to be with everyone during Peace Week. This annual event is becoming larger and more vibrant, and the word is getting out. So it's so exciting to be a part of it. Today, I wanted to talk about how the EARTHwise Constitution impacts the Earth Federation movement, which actually started in the 20th century, faded for a while, and now is making a huge comeback. Arguably, the greatest momentum for global peace came after the two world wars. After World War I, in which 40 million people died, the world was ready for international peace. The war ended in 1918, and peace advocates banded with diplomats, churches, and even the suffragettes to demand global peace. The League of Nations was formed in 1920, but notably, the United States never joined. And in 1928, the Kellogg-Briand Act was passed, signed by 15 nations. Over the next few years, another 47 nations would sign this treaty, bringing the total to 62 nations. Article 1 of the Kellogg-Briand Pact reads, "The parties solemnly declare, in the names of their respective peoples, that they condemn recourse to war for the solution of international controversies and renounce it as an instrument of national policy in their relations with one another." Act 2 reads, "The parties agree that the settlement of or solution of all disputes or conflicts of whatever nature or of whatever origin they may be, which may arise among them, shall never be sought except by pacific means." Sadly, this international treaty failed to prevent World War II, which was the deadliest military conflict in history. An estimated 80 million people perished. That's about 3% of the people on Earth at the time. When World War II ended in 1945, the peace movement reached its zenith. 50 nations met in California and started drafting the UN Charter, which was then adopted in June of 1945. The stated purpose of the UN was to prevent war. However, the Security Council veto makes this nearly impossible. With China, Russia, France, Great Britain, and the United States as permanent Security Council members with a veto, we cannot prevent war or meet the other international threats we face, like global warming. The reality is that the United Nations is not a democratic body, and it has no enforcement mechanism, even if countries can agree on holistic outcomes. Also, the UN has never reviewed its own charter, though it's supposed to do so every 10 years. So by the 1950s, it became clear to good people all over the world that something more had to be done to prevent war and settle international disputes. A philanthropist named Philip Isley began to convene academics, judges, and jurists from around the world to draft the Constitution for the Federation of Earth, also known as the Earth Constitution. For the next 30 years, conventions were held to draft and adopt the Earth Constitution, which was finally declared completed in 1991. Today, there is a renewed interest in the Earth Constitution, though some say it is now dated and needs to be amended. So the Earth Constitution is a top-down approach to Earth Federation, whereas the EARTHwise Constitution is a bottom-up approach. The EARTHwise Constitution is a 21st century approach to Earth Federation. It encompasses the most recent theory on holism, which is an understanding of our cosmos and our innate interdependencies, It also reflects the current merger of science and spirituality, which means the EARTHwise Constitution is designed to support the continued evolution of consciousness. This Constitution also supports us in becoming the future humans of an emerging planetary civilization. It is a collective pledge to undertake the necessary actions for healing our divisions, joining in unity, and regenerating our Earth. In addition, the EARTHwise Game will inspire young people to join this movement. And in order to grow the peace movement, we need to identify novel approaches of engaging a global audience. And the EARTHwise Game does this. At the Peace Pentagon, we are studying the strategy of bringing a lawsuit at the World Court for violation of the Kellogg-Briand Pact. Nearly every country that signed this treaty has made war. Co-plaintiffs to this suit could include all the peace groups, environmental groups, and other sacred activists working so hard to protect life and ensure our collective future. We invite you to help us brainstorm this and other strategies to achieve holistic Earth Federation. In conclusion, the Peace Pentagon is proud to be a sponsor of both the Earth Constitution and the EARTHwise Constitution. We believe that both of these approaches need to be pursued simultaneously, a top-down academic and national approach, and a bottom-up organic and citizen-driven approach. At the Peace Pentagon, we are honored to be the U.S. headquarters for the Earth Federation movement. Truly, it is time to jumpstart this movement, and at the Peace Pentagon, we are dedicated to this mission. We wish to fulfill the dream of Barbara Marx Hubbard, who famously said, "We need a peace room as sophisticated as a war room." Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Laura. And we're delighted that your center, the Peace Pentagon, is really also there for the House, for the EARTHwise Constitution in the United States, because you really represent that fifth paradigm in so many ways. So that is amazing. So wonderful. Thank you so much. So before we go into a quick Q&A, there is one more surprise I have for all of you. And that is how we are using the game also as a Trojan horse to address yet another extinction level event that is getting the news lately. And that is about artificial intelligence. And so for those of you who've been following how AI has been growing exponentially and how this is a movement that can't be stopped. And also for those of you who are aware perhaps how there's been a mobilization around the world where people are very, very concerned that artificial intelligence, if it's not properly designed, not properly coded and trained, may actually see humans as its own threat, or perhaps even humans as a threat to the planet. And may make decisions in such ways at that stage automated that it could cause our own extinction, which is rather ironic because we've been creating it. So how are we using the game then as a Trojan horse to address that? Is that we are actually using the game environment to train benevolent artificial intelligences that are serving as evolutionary guidance systems for, one, recognizing the Moloch artificial intelligences, for also working with organizations and including even governments and other institutions to recognize the Moloch within themselves in their own organization, for how to actually guide humanity through the necessary transformations, and also therefore to really address the systemic barriers that are getting in the way of all these beautiful initiatives for world peace. So this is where we are seeing our game as a kind of Genesis garden for nurturing and creating the conditions for the emergence of whole new forms of intelligences that are the result of human machine learning, living systems interfaces, because the AIs in the game, which are characters in the game, what we're working on is that they can also then be exported into benevolent and beautiful services and guidance systems for humanity. So that's a whole other angle on the game, and which we feel strongly is really important element. Because unless we start training those kind of artificial intelligences through consciousness, wisdom-based, then how are we really going to address what could be very harmful artificial intelligences? As part of that as well, we have recently formed a strategic partnership with Singularity Net, and we're also now adjusting or applying the EARTHwise Constitution and its principles and compass for creating the first of its kind constitution for benevolent, what's called AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. So this is like the Constitution, and the pledges are already serving for the movement building and the Federation building, as Laura was also talking about, as well as the game, and technological developments. It will also be guiding, providing very important principles for artificial intelligence and even what may soon become an artificial general intelligence. So I just wanted to present that, and then to see, I know that some all of our stewards are in the room, like Sherry Herndon and Janice Hall. I don't know if it's possible at all to bring them here or hear their voices. I'm just asking that to the organizers. And if I don't hear an answer, then I'm going to take that as a no. Is it possible to hear Sherry? Are we pushing the limits of technology now?
Can you hear me, Anneloes?
Yes, now I can hear you. Yay.
Okay. Wow. Well, I'll hop in, and yeah, what an honor. I feel like we are changing the game right here in this call, in this week. I mean, really, we are the new operating system. And I think it's like so important for us to remember that. And I feel really emotional. It's like I feel the energy of life moving through me, and just what a precious thing it is to be at this evolutionary edge collectively, being able to actually choose the way we want to design our world on behalf of all life. And it's like, that's the most interesting thing on the planet. So I really love everything to do with EARTHwise, and also this game, really understanding, I love that Alexander named that James Carse's book, Finite Game, because it helped us make that distinction between, there is an operating system that we've been using unconsciously, and now we actually get to we understand the nature of the dynamics of living systems and life, nature, ourselves, and we can consciously evolve, consciously design. And what more beautiful way to do that than towards life, giving life, giving life, giving life. And I've never seen a framework this well-designed and exquisite as the EARTHwise Pledges, Constitution, and the game. And when I was talking to Anneloes recently, and she was giving me some statistics about how many people play games and how many young people are playing those games, it really hit me. It's like, 3 billion, and then 60% of those are young people. And so this is probably the only game of its kind that can enter into that ecosystem and shift the way we actually are playing, and doing it in a way that's like kind of an elegant intervention. So I just invite everybody here to really explore more deeply the pledges if you haven't already, and look at how those pledges and the Constitution as an evolutionary guidance system can support you, your organization, your family, your children, your grandchildren. I live in a little village. I'm a village auntie, and to actually feel yourself more connected to the harmonics of life in its most beautiful expression. And that is a way of naming the very thing you are committed to. So I would just say thank you so much for everybody showing up and And thank you, Anneloes, and the Stewards Circle is really an honor to be here.
Thank you so much, Sherry, for your wonderful wisdom and stewardship and your powerful message. And if it's possible to hear from Janice in the final minutes, that would be really great.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Yes, we can hear you.
wonderful. Well, I have been excited to be playing on this journey since with Sherry and Anneloes and many others since it was 2020. We sort of emerged out of COVID. And what I'd like to say regarding the game, yes, people need to understand that when they play, they have an impact. They send ripples of whatever consciousness they embody. And so what's interesting, I'll dovetail with what Sherry said, is when you think about the amount of people that are currently playing games, they are actually perpetrating the Moloch consciousness unintentionally. So the beauty of this game is that it's exciting, it's inviting, and game players of all ages will, I think people actually get much more joy and excitement and oxytocin when they realize they have an impact in a positive manner. So when they realize that by playing this game and winning, that everybody's winning, and that is a high that I think not enough people on the planet have experienced. And it goes back to some of the simple tenets of a couple of the pledges to start out with. Contribute my talents, passion, love. I think this is 4, and wisdom for necessary actions. I take action by actively supporting the transformation of our divided worlds and social systems by contributing my talents, passion, love, and wisdom for our planetary well-being. People want to make a difference, and they need to realize that by being their authentic self, by finding that seed within them that makes them feel vibrant and makes them feel lit up, by furthering that is what will help them further the planet. And there are no seeds that are too small. Some of the tiniest seeds grow the most extraordinary things on this planet. So be the seed that flourishes, and do this by navigating the wisdom of living systems as your compass. And in doing so, my final word is you will become a steward and a beautiful ancestor for future generations, which is another pledge.
Thank you so much, Janice. And for everyone here, for our wonderful team, it seems that by looking at the clock, Ben had asked us to complete in time, that we are then coming now. We are at the end of the program. So it's been amazing and a delight to be with you all. Ben, just a quick check-in. There's 2 minutes left on the clock. Does that mean that we have 2 minutes, or that it is time to round off now?
You have 2 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. So if we have, I'm going to then take the 2 minutes and give it to the audience. So if there are any questions or responses, and since I'm still screen sharing, if perhaps someone else, Alexander, can read that out, then we can still respond to that.
So there are no, we're not getting access to any of the questions in the chat. But I did want to share that this artificial intelligence that we're using here is also representing a shift. We have 1 minute left. A shift from in the use, not just of what we refer to as artificial intelligence, but augmented intelligence. AI is now being reframed as augmented intelligence. And this is one of the innovations that we're bringing through this game, is using technology, but to augment our human and world EARTHwise intelligence. I wanted to mention augmented intelligence as a reframe for AI.
I fully agree. So I think with that, then we are coming now truly to the end of this program.
But we don't hear you, Anneloes.
Yes, can you hear us now? Yeah. Okay, we're coming to the end. So I want to thank everyone, also all the organizers, wishing you all a very good Peace Week. Be the world we wish to live in love from every one of us. Yeah. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.